All right, let's dive into a world where one tiny mistake, well, it could cost millions. We're talking about the super high stakes realm of global logistics, shipping things like giant yachts and massive industrial equipment. And right in the middle of all this is a company, Ocean Transport, that's pretty much rewriting the rules on how it's done.
So, let me ask you a question. It sounds simple, but it's really not. How do you move something worth millions of dollars across an entire ocean with absolute certainty? I mean, think about it. Maybe it's a luxury yacht, your pride and joy, or a critical piece of machinery your whole business depends on. The risks are just massive. There is literally zero room for error.
And that challenge is exactly what we're going to unpack today. This is all about the world of high-stakes shipments, where precision and safety, they aren't just important, they're everything. And this is where a company like Ocean Transport really shines. They're the ones who solve these incredibly complex logistical puzzles. And they do it by building their entire approach on three key pillars: precision, down to the last detail, safety in everything they do, and total accountability, from the very first phone call all the way to the final handshake. Now, this is what's really interesting about how they work. They don't just, book a ship and hope for the best. No way. They treat logistics like an engineering problem. That means every plan gets stress tested, every single variable is considered, and the execution itself is engineered to be rock-solid reliable. Okay, so what does it actually look like to engineer a shipment across the globe? Let's break down their whole process, piece by piece. First thing you need to know is that they offer full end-to-end support. And when I say full, I mean it. From the moment planning begins to the second it's delivered, every single detail is intentional. Nothing is left to chance. So here's how that process breaks down into four main steps. First up, vessel scheduling and route planning. This isn't just about finding any old ship. It's about finding the perfect one and the best route. Step two is documentation and customs. All that nightmare paperwork that has to be perfect. They handle all of it. Then step three, feasibility and securement planning. This is the real engineering part, figuring out exactly how to hold the cargo safely. And finally, step four, on-site loading supervision. They actually have their own people right there on the dock, making sure that critical loading phase goes off without a hitch. All right, so we've seen the process, but how does it actually play out when you're dealing with really specialized cargo? Let's dive a little deeper. You see, it doesn't matter if they're moving a sleek, multi-million-dollar super yacht or a giant heavy piece of industrial gear. The cargo might be totally different, but their standard of excellence, that never changes. It's the same high bar every single time. Let's look at what that actually means. For something like a yacht, the procedure is incredibly detailed. We're talking about verifying every single lifting point, planning out custom-built cradles, thinking about stability, and protecting the yacht's structure. It's a whole different ballgame for oversized freight. There, the focus is on stuff like making sure the vessel is compatible, evaluating the load paths, and managing these immense forces to make sure everything arrives intact and on time. When you boil it all down, all of these procedures, all of this meticulous planning, it's really about one thing: protecting priceless assets. And that's what shifts the conversation from how they do it to why their clients trust them to do it in the first place. So why do people choose Ocean Transport? Well, it really comes down to four things: expertise, clarity, communication, and trust. See, they're not just selling a shipping service, they're offering their deep expertise. They bring clarity to a process that can be really confusing. They're in constant communication. And when you put all that together, you get the most important thing of all: trust. And this quote really says it all, doesn't it? Our role is not only to move assets across oceans, but to provide confidence throughout the entire process. You see, moving the cargo is just part of the equation. The other, maybe even more important part, is giving the client total confidence and peace of mind every step of the way. And that idea, that focus on confidence, really brings us to the core of what this is all about. It perfectly sums up their whole brand promise. They operate in a world where the true currency isn't money, it's confidence. So when you think about Ocean Transport, think of it this way. It's where deep, hard-won knowledge meets flawless execution. It's where that incredibly precise planning turns into something you can't put a price on: absolute, predictable reliability. And at the end of the day, it's where every single shipment, big or small, valuable or priceless, is treated as more than just cargo. It's handled with the profound respect it truly deserves.